This is TaxSaleSupport.com. I'm Ferre. I'm here with Swenson, and this is the 2018 July auction review for upcoming tax sales that will be taking place here over the coming month.
Yeah, exactly. I can't believe it's July already. June definitely went by quick, and there was a ton of auctions taking place. All kinds of good deals and good properties that have been picked up over the last 30 days or so. And so what we want to do each month, like Shade said, is we want to go through and do a preview and a review of all of the upcoming auctions.
Yeah, in fact, this is just a little piece of it here in the auction calendar, and you can tell that every day now there are tons of auctions, that are taking place throughout the country, and we've got a pretty wide variety here of sales that are both, a combination of live sales that are happening there. Then we also have some online stuff here, and so in fact, I think there's quite a bit more here that are happening if we were to look at it.
Yeah, definitely. These are the auctions that are taking place for 2018. So we can see from, there's 24 different states, and we're waiting on some lists that we can add as well that we're still waiting on the list that probably should happen this month. And you can see from, Arkansas to Wisconsin, there's all kinds of great states. And all of these states are essentially going to be having either an online auction or a live auction, taking place at the county courthouse, taking place over the next 30 days.
Yeah, and in fact, we'll get a chance to take a look at some of them here in a minute.
Also, this is the IRS and Treasure auctions that are happening as well. We've decided we wanted to add these to our auction calendar, really because these are, essentially government sales, and some of them will start out with low minimum bids, and a lot of times they're going to be kind of local auctions so that you're going to be there in person. So there's good opportunities to get deals. And you can see there's 21 additional states that are going to have auctions. Now, most of these aren't going to have, it's not going to be like several different properties. There could be more than one property being auctioned that day. So, like maybe a certain area in Texas, like San Antonio, maybe they have 3 properties being auctioned off that day. But then other states may only have 1 property being auctioned. But anytime there's an opportunity to pick up property, real estate from the government for, pennies on the dollar or for less than the value, we definitely want to make you aware of it.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And really, the thing that all those government sales have in common is that the party that's selling it doesn't really care what it sells for.
That's an important
so
point.
Aside from that opening bid amount, they're willing to sell it for the highest bidder, basically, in those sales. And so you've always got a good opportunity to pick stuff up for way under, what it's worth.
Yeah, in looking over it, there was some that I thought were high, but then there was others I thought, well, even at that price, that's still a pretty good deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
We also just want you guys to know about some of the over-the-counter lists that we have available. Right now we have 27 states up on our auction, up on our website as far as over-the-counter states. We actually have a couple of more that we're going to be adding as well, but these are the official ones that we've got profiles and lists for each one of these states.
Yeah, and really, if you think about it, that covers a huge portion of the United States there. So, as we start to look through all of the states here, and
looking between all 3 of these, almost every state's covered.
Yeah.
There's a couple of states that may not be covered, but between all of these different types of auctions, there's something taking place within your state this month.
Yeah, absolutely.
If it's an auction or over the counter, there's something available.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is we want to go ahead and go to the website and look over the auction calendar. That way we can kind of review each property, each list that's essentially available, and the different types of auctions that are coming up. And so what we're going to do is we're going to just take a quick view at the month view of the auction calendar, and then we'll go in and start reviewing by the weeks, by the day. By the week, actually.
And really, on some days you can tell that they're, even just this format here with how we're listing them all, just have to do something different. The numbers are getting to be so big, and it wasn't always this way.
Yeah, exactly. And some of these auctions will have even more lists, like in for Texas or Georgia. We're just going to say Texas auctions, but there could be 50 lists,
Yeah.
within that.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
Essentially, this is the auction calendar, and what we'll do is we'll go ahead and check out the week view. That way, we can go through and review each auction. So, if you want to, you could, if you're trying to see what auctions are taking place and we're going a little fast, you could pause it and kind of read over and see the different auctions that are taking place.
Yeah.
So, should we start with
Oh
today?
yeah, let me.
Let's actually,
Oh yeah, that's right. We are on the correct one.
yeah, let's go ahead and go down. 28th, 29th. We'll see what's. We'll finish up tomorrow. See what
All right.
starts with
So
tomorrow.
here's today. So you want to start with tomorrow?
Yeah.
All right.
So essentially, to start out, we can see that there's some New Jersey online auctions, some New Mexico tax deed auctions. There's live auctions in Connecticut, which we're getting. What we're doing is we're researching all of those states that generally are harder to get list, or generally don't have list, and we're starting to provide lists from some of the states that we didn't really focus on in the past.
Yeah. Yeah, and what's also interesting is that there are a lot of online auctions taking place there. As you look, there's plenty of opportunities for out-of-state investors to invest, whether it be in liens or deeds. With as far as starting tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, and we can also see that Virginia, started an online auction.
Yeah.
North Carolina, Kansas, and like New Hampshire as well. We have these different states where if you're from that state, there's opportunities there. It's good to know about them.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's take a look at all right. So the next week here. So starting next week, then we've got some live sales taking place in Henderson, North Carolina, Polk, North Carolina, also in Berks, Pennsylvania. We've got a live auction. Then in Florida, we've got some sales in Franklin and Taylor, as well as an online auction occurring on Monday with Escambia County, Florida. Aside from that, there are several counties in North Carolina, that have sales taking place. These are all, live sales, as well as some places in Ohio.
Yeah, exactly. And with Ohio, they do the mortgage auctions and the foreclosure auctions at the same time in some of the counties. And so when you go to the auction, they may sell the mortgage foreclosures first, or they can actually be, essentially, do one after the other. But then Tuesday, essentially, we're going to have some more auctions in Ohio and Gwinnett County. Jackson, Florida has auctions, and then Columbus, North Carolina. Also, Texas has their auctions coming up, and all of the lists are going to be available there. And so all of the auctions in Texas and Georgia essentially happen over the same day.
Yeah, those are a lot of sales.
Yeah, Delaware as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be a Treasury auction. So you can see how they're also listed. If it's a Treasury auction or an IRS auction, it'll be listed as such.
Yeah. So really, starting on July 4th, even we've got sales occurring in live sales in North Carolina, really throughout the state.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting they're doing it on July 4th.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that till just now.
Yeah, and then I think after that we've got another new state happening here with Wisconsin. On the 5th, you've got Bayfield, Wisconsin, holding their online auction.
Yeah, exactly. An online auction for them. Also, Miami-Dade. If you're looking for Miami property, there you go with the online auction. North Carolina is going to have several auctions. Kent, Delaware, and Ohio. Also, there's going to be some Treasury auction happening in Arizona, and there's going to be an IRS auction happening in Texas.
On next Friday, we basically have 3 sales happening in North Carolina that are live sales, and then we have another online auction taking place in Wisconsin.
Yeah. Then July 9th, we've got more auctions happening in North Carolina, Ohio, Florida, and essentially Wisconsin has another online auction in Grant, Wisconsin.
After that on Tuesday, it's a huge day for sales.
Big time.
We've got sales happening everywhere from North Carolina, tons through Florida. Arkansas, has sales throughout the summer. They've got something going on. But then North Carolina as well. We've also got in Delaware. We've got a live sale taking place. Live sales happening in Ohio, Summit, Ohio. We've got live sales in Jackson, Florida, and then again Wisconsin with the online tax deed auction there.
Yeah, busy day.
Yeah.
There's also some IRS sales taking place.
Yeah, there are.
July 11th is another busy day. We've got a ton of Florida live auctions taking place, online auctions taking place, auctions in North Carolina. In Kansas, they're starting their auctions now. Ohio and some different types of IRS and Treasury auctions taking place in South Dakota, Mississippi, Florida, Texas, Louisiana. Oh, the Louisiana is that's going to be a regular, redemption deed auction, and there's 17 different counties that has auctions that day.
Yeah, that's another 17 sales, that'll be taking place there. And now after that, we've got on starting on the 12th, we've got live sales happening in Pennsylvania and Mercer, and also in Florida. We've got Calhoun and Jefferson, Sarasota, then Hillsboro's an online auction, as well as Miami-Dade's got an online auction that day. Orange County's got an online auction that day, and Walton County, Florida, has an online auction that day as well. So there's a whole bunch of online auctions taking place. In fact, we've got another one. There's live sales happening in we've got Arkansas, plenty through North Carolina, essentially Kansas is having their sale on that day, as well as we've got another in Kent, Delaware, and Butler, Ohio.
One thing to say about Delaware, it's going to be similar to Ohio, where they do both. They offer both the mortgage foreclosures and the tax sale foreclosures at the same auctions. So, sometimes as you look at those different types of lists, you'll see which ones are, being offered through the tax collector, or which ones are essentially being offered through a bank. So that's kind of the way you figure that out. Plus, California has an online tax deed auction.
Yeah, which just another online auction that day. And then we also have some more IRS sales and stuff happening on that day as well.
Yeah.
Really, it's
Dakota,
a busy day.
July 13th, we've got a New York live tax deed auction taking place, and also some North Carolina auctions. Another auction in Kansas. As we mentioned, they're starting up their auction. So if you live in Kansas, it's good to keep that in mind as these auctions come up. There's really some pretty decent properties that we've seen through the different lists that are available, and the opening bids aren't that bad. Another live auction happened in Steuben, New York. A lot of properties available there. Also in Ohio, Richland, Ohio, and then there's an online auction, an online tax deed auction happening in Chester, South Carolina, Greenville, and Spartanburg, and Richland. And essentially what these are tax deed auctions. South Carolina is a tax lien state, but what's happening is a lot of these counties that have excess inventory are essentially turning those over to deeds and foreclosing on them, making them available.
Yeah, nice. So move on here to some of the final weeks here through the month here. We'll move through these a little faster. We still have sales happening throughout the summer. We've got online auctions there in Manatee and Sarasota, Florida, as well as Ohio's live sales. They have taking place, and
Wyoming starting up their tax lien auctions.
Yeah, that's right. Park, Wyoming has their live tax.
In fact, that was the very first tax liens me and Shade bought were from Wyoming.
Yeah, it was a good place to buy.
Yeah, 17th, another busy day with auctions in Connecticut, live auctions in Florida, Lee. There's going to be auctions in North Carolina. Also, Washington, D.C. Boom, boom, big tax lien auction happening that day. So if you're, somewhere within there, Something you can think about and look, if you're in Virginia, Maryland, DC area. There's also Kentucky is going to start their auctions, a bunch of auctions in Kentucky for tax liens, and then some more Louisiana auctions, 7 different counties.
Starting on Wednesday, we've got a whole bunch of sales happening, online auctions in Florida, everywhere from Broward, Citrus, Duval, Palm Beach. We've got a couple sales happening in Arkansas as well, in Bradley and Calhoun. From there, Delaware. Sussex has a live sale scheduled there. We've got some live sales happening, several in Wyoming, as followed by a few in Kentucky, and we have for Lucas, Ohio. Gulf, Florida has a live sale happening that day, and we've also got some IRS auctions. There's an online redemption deed auction in Louisiana, several of them. A couple
3
of them
different
there.
ones.
Yeah. So that's going to be in all 3 of those counties. Gretna, Harahan, and West Wago.
Yeah, and most of them are going to be either cities or townships. They're kind of broken up a little bit like that, since they're a little bit different. But yeah, exactly. Then on Thursday, essentially, we're going to have some more Florida tax deed auctions, online auctions as well in Miami, Orange, Polk, more Arkansas auctions in Cleveland, Douglas County, Kansas, more Kentucky auctions.
Yeah. To round things out on Friday, we've got some live sales happening in North Carolina in 3 different counties there. Then we have San Diego, California online tax deed auction taking place. We also have some live sales happening in Marion, Indiana. We've got one in Wyoming, in Sublette, and then we also have some live tax lien auctions happening in Fayette County, Kentucky, and Jefferson County, Kentucky as well. And just there's also the San Diego sale happening on the 20th as well.
Yeah.
And that's an online tax deed auction.
Yeah, and if I remember right, I think it takes place over a couple of days.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of the first day of opening bids.
Yeah. In fact, I think is that the one that has it split into the different types. So on the first day they have improved. Second day they do non-improved.
Yeah. Actually, last night me and Shade went through it with our members. We went through it last night. Starting Monday, just some more auctions in Florida. You can always count on Florida with live and online auctions. St. Lucie. There's also Kentucky auctions, more Kentucky auctions, bunch of them. Kentucky's going to have auctions over the next 4 months. There's just going to be tons of, essentially all of the different counties. And then also in Lake County, Ohio.
Yeah, we've got a whole bunch of online auctions happening on the 24th, Tuesday the 24th of July, we've got a live sale in Alachua, Florida. But then we've got online auctions happening in New York, in Peekskill County, New York. We've got Charlotte, Florida. We've got Lake County, Florida, Lee, Florida, Miami-Dade, Florida. We've got Volusia, Florida, and Walton, Florida. Those are all online auctions happening on that day. So there are a ton of different online auctions, with one state basically, with one county in New York and a whole bunch of Florida, and that's just so far. There are more than that. We've got live sales happening in Arkansas, North Carolina, Michigan. We've got live sales.
Yeah, this is actually a live tax deed auction happening in Michigan. Most Michigan counties, or a bunch of them, do the online auctions, but that's actually going to be a live auction.
Yeah. And we've got some more IRS auctions happening on that day, as well as a few online redemption deed auctions for Louisiana, which will be occurring.
Yeah, and on Wednesday, July 25th, essentially we're going to have some North Carolina auctions. Florida has a bunch of tax sales, both online and live auctions. Lee County, Arkansas. We also have North Carolina. Some Wyoming auctions, Kentucky auctions in Mason County, and then Ohio is has another tax deed auction taking place, and then just some more IRS sales.
Yeah, we've got a whole bunch of online auctions happening on that following day, on Thursday, the 26th. Starting off, we've got a live sale in Florida, in Seminole, Florida. But then we've got the online auctions for Brevard, Hillsborough, Orange, Walton County, and like I said, those are all online tax deed auctions. From there, we've got some live tax deed auctions in Arkansas, a tax lien auction, a live tax lien auctions happening in the counties of Marshall and Nelson, Kentucky. We've got some other live sales, some IRS sales and Treasury sales happening as well on those days.
Yeah, and on Friday, July 27th, we're going to have some more online auctions in Florida, another live tax deed auction in Washington County, New York, another auction in Kansas. They're starting up their auctions. Indiana has a live tax deed auction, a commissioner's sale. Kentucky has several more different auctions, and then there's also an online auction in New Jersey, in Florence. I think it's Florence City, I'm pretty sure. And then there's a treasury auction happening in Puerto Rico.
Nice, well, excellent.
I think there's only a day or two left.
Yeah, so it looks like for that following Monday, we've got an online auction in Manatee, Florida. Then we've got some live tax deed auctions in Kansas and Lake Ohio.
Yeah, and then Tuesday, to finish it out, essentially more live auctions in Florida, Charlotte, Sarasota, online auctions in Lee County, and then Michigan's going to start their tax deed online auctions. So that's where, it's really going to ramp up with the Michigan auctions taking place. You can see starting the 31st, and then just round it out with some IRS and Treasure sales. So essentially, that's the month in a review. If you guys have any questions, or if you're interested in, becoming a member, just go ahead and register for the website, and you can have access to all these lists.